Can you make money with a corn maze, a haunted house, or any other haunted attraction in your community? Well, we opened the gates to our farm for the first time this fall, and we learned a lot. So I'll take y'all through the good, the bad. I'll share some of our finances with you. I'll share some customer experience with you, what we need to do better in the future, and just stick around till the end because you'll learn a lot for sure. So first we'll go over some of these numbers. We'll go over the expenses first because that's the main one. We paid $494 for our corn seed. That was 2 bags of field corn. I wish that I would have got silage corn, but I waited too late and they had already took all the seed back to the seed companies. The only reason that I got what I did was I lucked out, and I got 2 bags that somebody had brought back that they just, I guess, didn't want to plant. They'd already planted enough, so they brought those back and got the money for them, and I got to buy them. I lucked out on that one. But then we paid $50 to get the corn planted. The tractor that was here wasn't running at the time, and so we had a neighbor come use his corn planter and his tractor, and he done it for $50. Then we paid $525 for 3 porta-johns. I wish that I would have went with just 1 porta-john, but hindsight's 2020. I was expecting a whole lot more people to come than did, but we'll just advertise more next year and try to get our name out, and so it'll be a little better. We paid around $800 in insurance. I think it was around $840, but I can't say for certain because I didn't have the receipt for it. So we're just gonna say it was about $800. We had to have insurance. I wasn't gonna let somebody come in and make a quick buck off of us. Or, I mean, you always gotta have insurance. You gotta make sure that you're covered. That if something actually does happen, that that person is covered and you're covered and everybody's alright. So if I recommend one thing out of all this, it's definitely to get insurance. We paid $60 for fertilizer, and that was the liquid fertilizer, not the granular. Next year I am going to put the granular down just to help the soil get better each year, but I waited too late and I just couldn't put it out. We paid around a little over $500 in props. That's including the masks, the fake blood, and like our big scarecrow and our big grave digger man. I don't know how many lights we bought. We probably bought 30 strobe lights. We bought around the same number of just yard lights that we led through all the mazes. We bought caution tape, danger tape. We had to buy burlap and just stuff like that, garbage bags and everything like that. One of my buddies from high school, his dad used to run haunted houses and stuff, and he donated some props that he didn't use, and we're really, really, really thankful for that. He helped us out tremendously. So we're not adding those in because we didn't know what was paid on those. So that's not including the donated props. That's just what we bought. So all that totals up to $2,429 in expenses. We brought in $1,630 from ticket sales, and there was no other money maker on the farm during the fall. So that's the only way that we were making money was from ticket sales, which were $10 for an adult and $5 for a kid. Next year we're going to go up, but I didn't get everything ready in time. I didn't want to put out a halfway done product to the community. That's definitely how you get a bad name out there, and I do not want that to happen to our farm. So I wanted to have it just kind of be a low cost thing. There was a flood that hit our just area, and so I hoped that it would just be an easy thing for people to come do, cheap thing for people to come do, get their mind off everything for a little bit, and just be with family, friends, and hopefully have a good time. We were $799 in the hole, and that's not including our corn planter or any of that stuff that I mentioned, like the decorations, our playground equipment, stuff like that. That's all just going to be there on our farm for a long time. So I didn't count it. I just kind of counted what we did this year and kind of what we'll probably have to do for the years upcoming. I know that we're going to have to buy corn seed next year. We'll have to pay something to get our corn planted no matter what it is. That's getting tractor ready, getting the corn planter ready. I've got to put new meters on the corn planter this year, and so y'all get a video on that, so stay tuned. We're going to have to buy porta-johns each year. We're going to have to get insurance each year. We're going to have to buy fertilizer each year. And we're going to have to buy props every year. We're going to try to make it new, make it better each year. Have something new so people ain't going through the same stuff each year. So that's why I wanted to include those expenses and not that corn planter or none of that other stuff. But hopefully we're going to be making more than $1,630 in the future. So that number is going to go up in the future. So now we'll get into some good things we did from the year. They weren't all bad, like our finances. So we'll get into some of them. I'd like to improve on some of these things for the future years, but I think that they worked out perfect for our first year with this haunted activity. One of the main good things that came out of this season was the learning experience that it brought for us. We learned so many things. We kind of learned how to track some of our numbers, whether it be employees that we need, whether it be finances that we need, whether it be anything like that. We learned a bunch about numbers. We learned how kind of the process needs to flow, from parking to buying your ticket to coming through and waiting in lines, or where to put your lines, where to entertain people in different lines, where to put your hayride, how to take your roads so that you're not affecting the flow of your haunted attractions, and so you're not having pedestrians crossing your roads, making it dangerous. There was a lot of stuff like that that we learned just in the process of what we needed to do for the corn maze. We learned a lot of what to expect from weekend to weekend. Each weekend I feel like it changed. The first weekend was it was crazy busy on Friday night, and then Saturday it slowed off. And then the next weekend it wasn't busy at all either day. And then the next weekend it was busy on Saturday. And then the Halloween night, it was the busiest that it had been all year, and it was on like a Tuesday or a Thursday. I'm not really sure which one. But, I mean, it was just slam-packed, and we were running the hay trailer all night long, making rounds. It was definitely the most fun night that we had by far, and I'm glad that night happened, because it kind of gave me a little hope and showed me kind of the potential that our corn maze and our farm's going to have for the future. Another good thing that we did was added something new and exciting to our community. I think it helped bring a lot of people. A good place to go to and have fun and be with their family and their friends, and just have a place to go relax and get away from everything. The whole family got to be together during this. That's another thing that really I like about the farm, is you get to spend time with your friends and your family. We got to have just everybody working together, and everybody out there having a good time, scaring people and just having fun, cutting up out in the mazes and stuff. It was a great time, and that was one of my favorite parts of the corn maze, was just being with everybody and having so much fun, just messing around out there and scaring people and giving them a good time out there. We also added another season to our farm. We've got Christmas time, and that's our main season because we sell Christmas trees. And we've got, last year we added produce to our farm, which was in the summer. I grew it and then just sold it during the year. We sold it from about July, the end of July, to around October, whenever the flood hit and wiped everything out. We were lucky to do that for the little bit of time that we got, because I got to learn a lot about it. I got to grow a whole lot of good vegetables. Got to eat a lot of good tomatoes. Got to eat some good sweet corn. And I definitely missed it once it got washed away. But we'll have it next year, and we'll get to pick a whole lot more. So if y'all have any ideas how we can improve some of that stuff that I just talked about, the good stuff, or just anything that we could do to add something good to our community, add something good to our farm. I'm not sure the best way to do the haunted thing. I'm just looking for ideas, so put them down below in the comments if you got any, and we're trying to just learn as we go and trying to make the best what we can with the community. So now we'll get into a little more bad. It was our first year, so there was definitely going to be some more good or more bad than good, but I'm just glad that we opened up and got the experience and got to learn so much about this corn maze and haunted activities and stuff that we opened up. The number one thing that hurt us was not decorating in time. We were working in North Carolina up there. The flood hit us. We were trying to get the farm ready for Christmas tree time. That's our main income producer. So we had to get everything ready. We had to be able to get trees out. So that was our main priority. Our main focus was getting that ready up there. So we were working a lot up there and not enough down here on the farm, on getting all the props put up, getting all the walls built, getting the decorations hung up, putting parking lines down. Just thinking of stuff like that to do. I didn't have near enough stuff, playground stuff for the kids or stuff for kids to do while they was up there waiting to go down to the corn maze, or just if they didn't want to go through the haunted stuff, just have them something to do. Because everybody that comes up there, I don't want them to be bored. If they don't like the haunted stuff, that's fine, but you can go do this. I want everybody that's at the farm to have fun and enjoy their experience. Another thing we didn't do was advertise enough. We didn't advertise in time. I didn't start in time. I do not know when, where, or how I'm going to advertise this year, but I'm going to start early. At the first of the year, we're going to start posting videos and stuff on our Facebook, our TikToks, and everything, and we're going to try to get the word out to the community. We're going to, I guess, use hashtags. We're going to try to go to like haunted meat shows or just community events. We're going to try to post in the Facebook groups, just stuff like that to try to get our name out to the community, to get more people coming through. And we're definitely going to try to do some field trips and stuff for the community, or for the youth in the community too. I used to love going on field trips to corn mazes and stuff like that. We used to go all over the place, and it was just a great time. I know that whenever you go there, you remember that place, and you kind of just want to go back every year because it's just part of your childhood. So we want to be able to do that, teach some kids about agriculture, teach kids that farmers are trying to help them. They're trying to help the community and everything else. They're not trying to hurt everybody, and they're actually good people and wanting to help everybody. We didn't have enough help this year. There were some nights we had too much, which I don't think there's ever too much help, but I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't manage them properly. I just kind of set them out there and said, go scare people, go find you a place and go scare people. Next year I'm going to try to have a plan for everybody, try to have a place for everybody, and I want them to improvise a little bit and just kind of scare on their arm. But we had times that the people from the front of the maze were at the end of the maze whenever people were coming through the front, and so there was nobody at the front, there was nobody at the middle, and then they got to the end and there was 4 people that got on them all at once and scared them a little bit. But heck, I just don't feel like that does no good. I feel like it's better to have stations throughout the whole maze or whatever attraction that you're doing. Another thing was we didn't have enough help for concessions or to kind of really run much up there. Maddie and my mom they done everything up there at the pavilion. They sold tickets, they dealt with the vendors and all that stuff, and so we couldn't have done it without them. And I'm just glad that they were up there, because I don't know what we would have done with the money situation, with selling tickets, with getting people parked in the right place, getting people to the hayride on time. That Halloween night we had a big huge line, and they were making people get in the line right, and they were sending them to the hayride and not letting them get out in the road where they get hit by the hayride. Just stuff like that's really important. You got to think about all that kind of stuff, because I know that I sure didn't, and I wish that I'd had a YouTube video like this to watch. I know one of the good things that I mentioned was that we got food trucks and vendors, but I think that it also hurt us with those food trucks and vendors because we didn't have enough people coming in and purchasing stuff from them, and I don't know if that got a bad taste in their mouth or they just knew that it kind of wasn't going to be as many people as I thought was going to come in this year. Hopefully that don't hurt us in the future with trying to get vendors and stuff and food trucks coming in, but we're going to try to advertise, get our name out there a little better, so there are a whole lot more people coming in and passing those food trucks and vendors this year. We also didn't have somebody at the beginning of each attraction separating groups. The first night I tried it, and I didn't have enough people to do that, and I didn't communicate good enough to the people that were at the start of the mazes to do what they needed to do. So by that second night, I was just the whole trailer full of people. We were sending them through the corn maze, and they would go through the whole thing as just one big group. I felt like it was easier that way. We got people through it, but I don't feel like the groups liked it as much. I feel like you would like it better if you were with your own group and people that you know. And if you wanted to go with a different group, you can always say it in line, but they weren't able to just kind of say, we want to go by ourselves. So that's one thing that I do want to change next year. I want to have somebody at the start of every single attraction just separating the group, say how many do you want, and then give them a certain amount of time before you send the next group through. I didn't block off all the dead ends in the corn maze. We blocked some off, but still some people went around them and they got lost in the maze, and so you were scaring people twice, or they was just getting lost and wandering around in the maze, and you'd scare them and there would be another group right behind them, and so you would just mess the scare up on the second group because the people that you'd already scared and they already knew you were there. So next year I'd like for that to flow better. We've only got one corn maze, so if we're going to do field trips, I guess we could open them up during the week whenever a field trip was coming, or during the day when people were coming through to find their way through the corn maze, and then we could block off the entrances during the weekend or the night for people that were coming through the haunted, just to keep the flow going and keep everybody going, because you don't want to mess your scare up for the people behind just because these people were lost or couldn't find their way through. I need better control of the traffic between the mazes. This year I only put like sticks in the ground and put caution tape around it with lights between the corn maze to the Christmas trees, and from the Christmas trees to the orchard. Some people went around that just because they could and they wanted to get away. We had people just trying to sneak off and be by themselves, I guess. We had some people that just didn't look at the caution tape and went over it and went somewhere else, and they kind of got lost, and we had to bring them back down to the bottom gate and put them back on track. And I feel like people didn't like that. We had some people just wondering where to go, what attraction to go to next, where they needed to go. So next year I'd like to have better control over that. Maybe just only one way that they can go, put maybe some of that orange netting up or something like that. But that was another problem that we had, just people going off track, places that we didn't necessarily want them to go, or just them getting lost and not meaning to. We had a bunch of first year challenges. Here's a few that I feel like it was just because it was our first year that these happened. Our opening time was 30 minutes too early. Whenever we opened up and people started coming in, the sun wasn't completely set yet, and we still had about 30 minutes to where we had to kind of improvise, and everybody had to go set up down there, and it just wasn't a good time. I feel like them people didn't care much for sitting there waiting around, because we did say we were open. Whenever they showed up, they thought we were open. They thought we could just go down there and go through the corn maze, but it just wasn't dark enough. We wasn't prepared. So that's one thing that I will try to do next year, that I will do, is open up 30 minutes later. I did not have enough stuff for kids and people that didn't want to go through the haunted stuff. We had all kinds of people saying that they were a little scared to go through stuff, and that's why they didn't come out. And so next year I'd like to have something during the day where they can come out and just go through it and not be scared during the day, and then still have our scary stuff during the night. But even during the night, I feel like there's other places that you can go that had a whole lot more stuff than we did for kids. We're going to try to have more slides, more stuff like that next year for the youngins, for people that don't want to go through the scary stuff. Heck, cornhole, slides, big stuff you can climb on, all sorts of stuff. We put a basketball goal up last year. We've got a big cantilever barn style playground set. We're going to put some cornhole boards out, but just stuff like that can add to the experience while they're waiting to go down to the hayride. Just stuff like that I feel like will help the overall experience and make them recommend us to more people. We weren't sure how many guests to expect because it was our first year. I was just banking on a number in my head. I was hoping we'd have a whole lot more people show up than did, but it was our first year. We're going to try to get our name out there a little more next year. We're going to try to have an online presence. We're going to try to have a website. I feel like if we have an online website that you can purchase tickets off of, that I feel like that would help us get a better grip on the number of people that we're going to show up for the night, and kind of maybe how to prepare for that in the future. Once we saw cars pulling in, we kind of weren't really sure what to do. We saw them pulling in, and we were all kind of starstruck, and so everybody ran to get ready, and we just weren't sure of the process. I had something in my head whenever that day came, but it just didn't work out like I thought. People didn't go to the places that I thought, and the interactions didn't happen the way that I thought they would. So that's kind of the good thing about this first year. I got that out of the way. I know what's going to happen when they get there, and how to get them to the right places, how to get them from their car to the ticket booth, to the inside, to the line, then down to the corn maze, and then through each different attraction, and them not get lost or go to the wrong place at the wrong time. That's just the main thing, is this learning experience that we got this first year. Like I said earlier, that was the best thing that could have come from this. We was going to not do it just because of that flood, like I said. But we gritted through it. We got through it. And we did it. And we're a whole lot better for it now. And I'm so thankful that we got the opportunity to open that up for the community and have so many people come out and just have a good time. If y'all have any more questions, leave them down in the comments. Any haunted attraction questions, stuff like that, stuff about agritourism, about the farm. Thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. It really helps out the channel whenever y'all like, comment, and subscribe. You don't know how much it does. It helps get these videos out to more people like you, more people in this community, and I really appreciate it when you share it out with your friends and family, and just get our name out there. We really appreciate y'all watching. If y'all want to find another video, just click on one of our playlists. We got a video that's best for you, and we got the subscribe button too. So don't forget to hit it, and God bless y'all. Thank you so much for watching.